Good morning, Shane.
Buenos dias, mi amiga.
How are you?
I'm doing my best to be my best. How you doing?
I'm good. Okay, why is this? We look small. Okay, there we are. Oh, do I want us to look that big? Oh, that's scary. Oh, oh gosh, that's big. Okay. I like seeing myself
From a
from
distance,
afar. Yeah, how do I make that smaller? Yeah,
pull
that's
back your screen or pull
yeah.
back your camera and
Okay,
push it
yeah,
back.
there we go. No, no, no. I made it the entire screen. So
Oh, okay. I can see that
yeah,
on my
yeah, that
side.
was
That
yeah.
was
From
just
here,
here.
I cannot. Yeah, that was just my side. So, how are you? You're doing well.
Yeah, as well as I can be doing. How you doing?
I am good. I am. Uh, we only have Beanie, so
Oh, you're kind of empty nesting right now.
yep, we only have Beanie. So, I don't know why this is not working. Um, Jackson is in. Where is he? It starts with a P. It's
Pittsburgh,
it's on
Panama.
the it's on yes, thank you. Panama City. Starts with a P. Sounds like. Um, yeah, he's in Panama City and uh yeah, so Jan Brady just lives a life of leisure. I guess I don't know
What is
what
she doing?
no, that's Jan Brady is Jackson.
Oh, I thought it was.
He's the middle. No, he's the middle child. He's Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. So whenever he goes anywhere, and I guess I should stop. He never has to get his clothes together because I get his clothes together. Like I wash them. It's just so he can see what he had. Because he'll go
Yeah,
out and shop thinking I don't have anything, but he's got piles of clothes behind the door. It was I could barely open the door. It was terrible. So I washed everything. I folded everything. I put it out where he can see it, and he grabbed things. The things he didn't want, he just kind of threw. And I was like, that's disrespectful. So then he calls himself packing Monday morning. They're leaving at supposed to be leaving at 12. He throws everything on top of the suitcase. I'm like, dude, how you gonna close the suitcase? And I was like, okay. So I go and I roll everything, and I'm like, do you have this? You have that? And so he took a pair of pants, threw a pair of pants in there and a jacket, which
just
I
one.
thought, yeah, he did not check the weather, and neither did I. I wasn't going there. It wasn't my responsibility to check the
Yeah,
weather.
of course not.
Nor I just assumed that it would be warm since it was Panama City and it's Florida. Um, so Monday, he calls me Monday morning saying that they were in Walmart and he was buying pants and a jacket because it was cold. And I said, "You have a jacket." He said, "I can't wear the same jacket every day."
Oh wow.
I was
Oh
like,
wow. I
"I
love
can't wear
these.
that's a jacket. That is
That
what a jacket
is
is for. It's not a
obviously
sweatshirt."
not. It's fashion.
Meanwhile, I had just bought him a new sweatshirt. Um, Shout out to my buddy Chuck Cooper. His dad was one of the first he's the first player drafted into the NBA, Chuck Cooper. And I bought a new sweatshirt with all three of the guys on the sweatshirt. And he just got it on Saturday, and he didn't take it because he didn't check the weather. And then he then later then was talk to his friend's mom yesterday, and he was blaming me for not having warm clothes. What is what? I don't know. Babies
You
and
know,
dummies, that's who God looks out for. And she said she had just got herself settled. They went out Sunday night. She was like, "Oh, I can have some peace," because she's Dominique will be canonized. That's John's mom who took them.
yeah.
And she thought she got the four boys. They left out. She's gonna have some peace. They came. She came right back. Talk about it was cold. It was windy.
But they left the boys.
No, they came back to the condo. They
Oh,
had
to the
went
condo.
out.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
there
thought
were
you
some
meant
other
came all the way back.
no, no, no. Oh, no, no. There were some other friends. You have to know that would be insane. There were some other friends, I guess, who were in Panama City. That's how they
Yeah.
picked it.
Okay.
And they came back. Yeah. So I'm like, so Jackson's mouthing off to me yesterday, and she's like, "I'm gonna have to get you straight." I'm like, "Yes, please do." Like, get your mother. Is that her? Is that her job to check the weather for you?
Yeah.
Which I normally do. But you know what? I normally do check the weather if I'm going. Now, Ariel and my mom are in Paris with my niece Jordan.
Oh,
They went to
Arrow,
go
that
visit
was on
her.
her list to do today. I
Yeah,
mean,
that
this year she wanted to get to Paris this year.
yep. So
That's what's
they
up.
are there and it's cold and rainy, but they knew it was gonna be cold and rainy.
Yeah.
So they took the appropriate clothing.
Is
Now
she
I
gonna
don't
make a? Paris is So Ghetto video like we've been seeing from other people when they go over there?
No, because she absolutely loves it. Even my mom, this is my mom's second time, and she's
Wait,
you're loving it too. So
what happened with the whole bed bug outbreak they had going on over there?
I thought about that this morning. Like, I wonder if they had any bed bugs, but
Yeah, I'm like, hold on, this
clearly they don't. Because she would
or
have
they just
said.
ain't talking about it no more.
I mean, I'm talking about, I don't know. My niece lives there, so yeah,
Did she
she's
say
in
anything
school.
when it was all over the media about bed bugs over there?
I can't remember if I asked her or not. I mean, there was an issue. It was straight up. It wasn't where she lives, but yeah, it
Okay.
was an issue. So, but yeah, so they were going to go to London tomorrow, like get the train and then do the 8-hour double decker bus ride and then get back on the train. My mom was like, Ariel slept today until 3.
Must be nice. Oh yeah, she's trying to adjust to the time
She was just
difference.
messed up, but she'd go to sleep and wake up. So my mom's like, she can't imagine getting on a train for 2 hours, getting on a bus for 8 hours, and get back on a train for 2 hours. She's like, oh, we'll see all the Paris has to offer us. Next time we'll go to another country. So anyway, so yeah, so and Ariel packed her own bag, and she has since she was probably 6. So it's me. I must be the weak link. I don't pick.
I
Jay
think
packs his own bags. Ariel packs
that's
her
your
own bag.
baby.
Jackson's not the baby. Ariel's
That's
the
no,
baby.
Jackson's your baby. Jackson's your baby.
He's a baby
No,
because he is a baby.
Or do you just always coddled him?
I don't coddle him because he's
I'm
always
just
the most
saying.
independent. He was always like he didn't need help with stuff. He always
You didn't
kind of
coddle
did
him?
stuff.
Did
No,
you pack his bag?
I did. I do that kind of stuff for him.
Mm-hmm. That's not coddling.
Is that I guess that is calling. I do that kind of stuff for him.
Jackson,
Like
he grown
I guess because he expects it. I think he expects it
because
too.
you've always done it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a matter of like what came first, the chicken or the egg.
Well,
You know?
but you know what? I haven't always packed his bag. I will say the last 3 vacations he's taken, any, where I'm like when he went to Spain in 10th grade at the end of the summer, I got all of his clothes. I did everything, got it all together just so he would have it. I'm like, got the little compression bags. I did everything. Um, Showed him where stuff was, and then he went to Costa Rica last year. And I know he was in Costa Rica when I was in Ibiza.
Right.
So I'm sure I packed his bag or got his bag together for him. I can't remember who. I'm sure that we took. I can't remember it. My mind, I'm losing it. But yeah, so it's going to change. And yeah, this is going to change. Me, yeah, something. Anyway,
Yeah.
I said a mouthful. Anyway, so yes, Beanie and I are here together. And then Jason comes home and we go for walks. But that's what we did anyway. So it's really the biggest difference with them being out of town is that when we get in bed at night, we know nobody's coming in. I can set the alarm and know that nobody's gonna come in and they're gonna go off, or nobody's gonna be running in and out. So that's pretty, because Jackson was always, come in and out, running out, come home late. So yeah. So anyway.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this is you guys get a feel for what it's going to be like in a couple of years, and then
Yeah.
see how to navigate that. So it should be like date night.
It's
every
not a
night.
couple years. It's like a year. Well, yeah, Jackson graduates this May. Ariel graduates next May.
Yeah. So yeah, a year and a half.
But it's not. Yeah. Well,
because then you have the summer months. They're still going to be there for the summer. Ariel will still be there through summer.
Right. Yeah.
So then next August it will be official. So yeah, you got about a year and a half to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if that. But yeah. So it's not like we had pizza. Like usually we have pizza like on Thursday every once in a while. But I order pizza Monday. I'm like, we're having pizza. So, but it wasn't like we worked together. I was on my computer. He was on his computer. Went for a walk. Well, we went for 2 walks. So
anyway. Oh, doubling up on the walk.
Well, we usually he takes Beanie. Well, we take Beanie on the 4:30 walk.
Yeah.
And then Ariel and I used to take Beanie on the 8:00 walk, but Ariel's not here, so we took Beanie. We took him out a little earlier. So anyway, yeah. Enough about us. Yeah. So
that was so interesting, though.
Are we interesting? I don't know.
I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's very for me just kind of looking forward. You know, we almost have the same kid to adult ratio, and so
Even
it's
though my
like,
husband
oh,
thought you had 5 kids.
listen, bro, don't put that on me. I'm good over here in these
Does
streets,
Shane have
homie.
5 kids? Like, no, he is 4.
Definitely don't got the 5. Did I tell you once there was somebody I went to high school with, and they posted a picture of a little girl on their Facebook page and tagged me in the picture. And this was
Okay.
after, like, you know, we'd already had our kids, and my wife just looked at me. She's like, "Oh, you have something to tell me?"
Why did she
Eh,
tag you?
Exactly. My wife
Was
was
it a
like,
joke?
"No, she just accidentally tagged me." But the age of the
Oh.
girl would match up to being like my kid from high school, like that I never knew
Oh,
about. And so my wife was like, "Do
wow.
you got another kid?" I was like,
Do
"No."
you think that
And so
ever had? Do you think that happens?
I mean, I've lived a very interesting life in college, and
No, but do
so
you think no. I'm saying I'm sure that people come back and say they have find out
yeah.
they have kids they didn't know they had. But do you think that they're tagged in pictures?
I mean, that's a hell of a way to do it, right? I mean, you kind of get the point
Man,
across.
like you use social media to say, hey.
Yeah, better than, you know, back in the day, you knock on somebody's door, be like, "This is your child." Now you use social media, knock on their
Well,
virtual
if
door.
you waited you've been out of school for how many years?
Yeah, it's been shit 23 years now.
If you waited 23, you could wait another 23 to tell me.
Well, it was this wasn't recently. It was like 10 years. So the girl was like 10. So this was like 10 years into it.
Okay, well, if you waited 10 years and
We could wait another 10.
say, yeah. I mean, you could wait another 10. Like, and I'm not a dude, but
Yeah, that's
like,
it.
you didn't tell me. Why are you telling me now?
Shit go crazy.
I'm sure that happens all the time. Yeah.
That is, yeah, nah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
nah,
the
I don't need
evils, the
5.
evils of social media. It just it makes everything so easier. It makes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's something that they were discussing too with like Angel Reese. You know, recently, well, shit, yesterday or the day before yesterday, she lost
before.
in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
And then she was crying during her press conference, and everyone, there were like, it was a line, right? Some people were on the side of, well, why is she crying? Why is she complaining about death threats? Why is she complaining about being sexualized? Why is she doing all this? She should, you know, suck it up, and, you know,
She's
she
a
wants to be.
person.
Yeah, and then other people were like, well, it's social media. Like, other generations never had to go through
No.
what this generation has to
But
go
you know
through
what? They're not
with
saying it to
social
your
media.
face. So hello, you can just
Turn it
not
off.
look at it.
Yep, that's what a lot of people are saying. Like, at some point in time, you have to learn how to turn off social
You
media.
just turn it off. There's so
But
many
it's
people who don't pay any attention to that stuff.
but it's like dopamine, right? So you love the adulation and praise you get looking at social media.
Right.
But in order to see all the adulation and praise,
You have to
also
see
got
the
to
bad.
scroll through all the death threats and people threatening to
Right.
do all kind of bodily harm to you.
That's crazy.
And you can think, like, you know, we see these people online, we see these people on TV commercials, but these are children. These are literally 18, 19 years old. They're still developing their emotional maturity.
Exactly.
And to go from just being a 19-year-old or 18-year-old college student to being a multimillionaire, because some of these girls, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Flau'jae Johnson, like, some of these girls are millionaires in college. And to go 1 year being broke, next year being a millionaire on Sports Illustrated covers and commercials, and then you still trying to mature emotionally, that's a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
That's a lot to deal with. We got to give them grace.
I saw the Flau'jae, is that her name? I saw her, what she had to say. And I called our friend Keith because Keith is friends with Angel's mother.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, why are they giving her such a hard time? He's like a bunch of losers who do nothing. I mean, that's really what you have to equate it to. Like, what have you done?
And that's what it comes. And that was so dope because they tried to paint the narrative, the media did, that Flau'jae and Angel didn't like each other at the beginning of the season. That they had beef and that they were like, and their moms were going at each other online.
Were they?
Oh yeah, their moms were talking shit to each other online.
Oh, teammates?
Yep.
Oh wow.
And so that kind of painted narrative that LSU was going to have a bad year because their two stars
weren't together.
Yeah, together. But it turns out that they were, and they had a great year. They made it to the Elite Eight, which is
and why did her mom?
amazing.
Why were their moms talking shit to each other?
Basically about money. Whose daughter had more endorsements and like shit like that. Stupid.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah, dumbness. So yeah, social media has made it so accessible for people to to just touch other people. So yeah, plenty of people probably getting tagged in pictures.
And sticks and stones doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything anymore, right?
Nah, because words are breaking bones, buddy.
They are breaking people.
Words are breaking people. People are being cyberbullied into suicide and
I know. You know what?
hurting themselves.
Ariel she knew a girl. She didn't know her well
Mhm.
a few years ago. She was cyberbullied by some girls at school that were her friends, and she committed suicide.
Yeah.
And oh God. I think Ron DeSantis is an idiot, but I'm all about that bill.
Which one? Which one of his bills?
The social media one.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sorry. It's the same Ron DeSantis that did away with DEI.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that same Ron DeSantis.
Even a broke clock is right twice a day. So yes, I'm for his. It's a shame the government has to raise our kids. We can't say no. You can't have a phone, or you can't be on this until. I mean, some adults, like a lot of times, for Lent I give up social media. I didn't this year. I gave up cookies, and I didn't do very well. I started off really well, and then didn't do well. But when I give up social media, it's usually good. Like last year, I gave it up, but I posted, so I don't know. Yeah. Like I shared, but I didn't. Yeah, but you didn't read anything. I didn't read. I didn't log in to read anything, to look at anything, to no TikToks, no Reels, no nothing. And I found myself getting a lot of time back in the day.
Oh, of course, you would be surprised how much time you spend scrolling.
Yeah, and I don't think I spend that much. Like usually in the morning, I wake up and do my Bible app, and then I start looking at. Oh, right. top 20, like Mojo. I always follow Mojo on YouTube. And they do like top 20 revenge dresses by stuff like that, or the top 20 couples that you didn't know were couples.
Oh, that's what's up.
I love a top, we love a countdown. Yeah.
So. Now, for those who don't know, can you tell them what the Ron DeSantis social media bill is?
Well, I can't give it to them in depth, but
no, just the general idea.
They're putting restraints on kids and social media. Like you have to be, I want to say 16. Is it 14?
No, it's 14. Yeah,
I don't think 14. Well, the social media places say 13, right? Because I didn't let Jay have. He snuck and actually he did snuck and made a Facebook page when he was in the 3rd grade. He and his friend Elliot. Jay's was finished. He was helping Elliot. That's the problem when you have kids with having a laptop or a computer in their room. Man. He created one. He said that he went to Georgia State and he was he was an engineer, and he had a picture from when he ran a 5K with me. So he was in 1st grade. And they would have got away with it. It wasn't for those pesky kids. And Elliot's mom called me and she's like, "You're not going to believe what these boys are doing." I was like, "What?" She's like, "Making Facebook pages."
That's crazy.
And I said, "They've only been home 30 minutes. They had literally been home 30 minutes."
Listen,
they had created one and he was helping Elliot. Only thing is that their laptop was in a common area.
So they can see it. She peeped it. Yeah.
saw what he was doing. So
yeah. I think it's cool though. 14 years old, no.
You're still not. 14 is, my daughter has FOMO so bad. She sees these people, when I was her age, I don't think I was talking about going to Fiji and the Seychelles, and I didn't even I didn't even know those. I knew Fiji existed, but you know what I mean? I went certain places. Different. Yeah, or even the kids now. Like we always took good trips. The girls, now there's a difference between girls and the boys. The girls slept together. We're 50 something, and we'll go on a trip, and this 2 people might end up in yeah. Even though I always say I am married, and all the married people should get their own rooms because we already sleep with somebody. We need to sleep alone. And so now I say, well, it's not a lie. I talk in my sleep. Everybody knows I talk in my sleep. I have very vivid dreams, and I may act out. So sleep with me at your own risk. Yeah. So that usually works. So because I will have a whole conversation out there. I'll be like, who is she talking to? Is she on the phone? I'm talking to myself. So yeah, I think it should be. I should think it should be older because they're not ready.
Yeah, 14 is something. It's still a very developing age. But yeah, so he's trying. I guess you're right. Broken clock may be right, but that clock is all fucked up.
Yeah,
I mean, that clock is like shattered on the floor, and it's only like a couple pieces left on the numbers.
It went
and,
like,
like that clock
like
is
cartoons when the stuff.
That Ron DeSantis clock is that thing is all jacked up. Goodness gracious.
Every time I think of him, I just think of him in those high heel boots. Oh gosh.
Listen, man, this dude is he different. He is different.
And then they got their state Supreme Court has that abortion 6-week ban. But they're gonna let the voters. They're gonna let the voters. If they're gonna put it on the ballot. So I guess that is the decent thing to do.
That's kind of sort of
put on the ballot. Let them.
They're gonna push all
the final
those.
Decision.
But then you gotta figure out whether or not they're really gonna be real voters or is it gonna be fudged numbers and all the other shady things that goes on in Florida. Because we all know Florida and voting is kind of they kind of
the hanging chads.
Florida they haven't quite figured out how to vote. Man,
oh my god,
so that's gonna be interesting and whatnot. And what else is going on in the news? Let's see, we have Diddy Epstein out here. Streets, like this dude.
And where is he? He's like, where's Waldo? Where is he today?
The last name was Cape Verde. I'm not sure if he's still there.
He was dancing on the camera and everything.
I mean, you're in a non-extradition country. Nobody can get you. He pulled a Russell Simmons. As soon as word got out, he got out of the country. Look, in terms of being a criminal, he was very smart. He did not stick around. He did not try to fight it in the media.
Right? Nobody got time for that.
Yeah, him, Russell Simmons, they were like, nah, we out of here. We out the country.
And Russell, they weren't. It was just chatter,
Hey, Russell says, "Nah, I don't even need that."
It was just chatter. I mean, but then you have Oprah and her and Gayle. They hate black men.
Yeah, it is.
So,
it's
Michael Jackson, R. Kelly. They're
But Gayle, what's weird? Did you see Gayle in her interview saying that she loves the way black men? She likes black men. She got like a fetish for black men. The way they talk to her.
A fetish.
Something about the way they say "Hey, baby" or some shit like that really gets her going or whatever. And I don't know. So she's trying to hype up. She's trying to hype up her love for black men.
I mean, just look what she did to Kobe.
Yeah, the way
he was dead.
They attacked.
How she interviewed Lisa Leslie. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? So yeah, she's. They are not. And that Michael Jackson, that leaving Neverland thing, that was the absolute worst.
Yeah. They have not been a friend to any black man in plight.
No,
they have not. Let me see. Now they're saying that Ashton Kutcher is going to be the next big name to come out of this whole Diddy situation.
Why not Ashton?
Hey, his relationship with old girl wasn't.
But
they suspect.
But they weren't in a relationship. They weren't in a relationship. She said they weren't. But she said that was her. She said that was her first kiss though.
Yeah. She was
14.
Yeah.
15.
We seen all the shit coming out with Nickelodeon. So who knows what happened on that set? You know what I'm saying? Like all this shit.
He seems like a stand-up. I mean, please, really? I don't know. He seems.
If we ever looked at Demi Moore, she looked like a stand-up woman. And then you look back at all her shit. Demi Moore has suspect behavior for a long time.
Like what?
Oh, there's videos of her kissing like little young boys, actors on the mouth, very lingeringly.
What?
Yeah, man.
Are they real videos?
Yes, they're real videos.
Why would she kiss a boy?
I don't know. But you can just look up Demi Moore kissing young boys and they're out there.
I don't believe it.
No,
I think they make up stuff. I think they're with AI, they're able to make things up. I don't know. That's weird. That's weird.
I mean, she.
Are you looking now?
No, I mean, I wanted to look up the age difference with her and Ashton. That was a 15-year age difference.
But men get with women 15 years younger all the time.
Facts. And men have been fetishizing young girls all the time, and I think
that doesn't make it right. You're right.
Exactly. I think it's time.
What's an acceptable age difference between sexes then?
I think you have to start with what's the starting point of the age difference, right?
Okay.
Because a 15-year age difference when you're 30 and I'm 45, who gives a fuck? Right. But a 15-year age difference when you're 15 and I'm 30.
Oh yeah, that's a problem.
Then that's a problem.
I mean, they have to be at the age of consent, but is it 20? Is that an adult? And is that gross?
in some
Yeah.
circles, it's gross. If you're not even legal enough to drink,
Yeah.
but in the United States, because you can drink in other countries, but
Right.
you're not legal to drink in the United States, but you having this relationship with this, 45-year-old woman or 45-year-old man,
Yeah, it's weird. Like
that's weird.
that basketball player, that young guy. He's 23, I think.
Mhm.
He got
Oh,
the how
Drea, you talk about him and
yeah,
Drea?
yeah.
Yeah, but did you see? Turns out that he has two other women pregnant at the same time. So there's three women who are going to have his babies all within the same year. Yeah, that
He's
basketball
not gonna have
check.
any money. He's not
Yeah,
gonna have any
basically,
money.
yeah. That check is he
What
gonna
is
pan out like
wrong with him?
these young boys start. They get that basketball money. They feel themselves. They can have whatever woman they want. And they forget about pulling out. They forget about that shit. But they get reminded every month when that child support starts coming out
Right.
that check.
Oh my gosh. He has 3 women pregnant at the same time.
Yeah.
I- Is he Nick Cannon or is he?
Yeah, I guess you know, you
Oh
know, you
gosh.
know,
Does
you
Nick
know.
Cannon make enough for all the
I,
baby mamas he has?
obviously, I've never heard one of his baby mamas complain about money ever.
You okay?
Never, ever,
Yeah,
never,
nobody
ever,
talks
ever.
stuff about him.
No, not at all. Apparently, he's a great dad. He spends time with all his kids.
And he was the Easter bunny
It was these
on
and them
Easter.
checks. Them checks get when they need to get, and everyone's taken care of. So
Now, here's something interesting, and I hate to talk about this salacious stuff, but 50 Cent's baby mama was named in
yeah, Daphne.
the draft. Yeah, what's
Yeah,
up with that?
she's one of Diddy's paid concubines. Her and Young Miami.
Do you think that has fueled like Diddy and 50's
Beef.
feud? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but I just know there's rumors going around about how much money that they were being paid to
Hmm.
be
Did you say it was a
his
$250,000 a
yeah,
month or something?
some reports are saying that they were getting up to $250,000 a month. That if an older woman wanted me to be strange for $250,000 a month, I may be
You could be
strange.
what?
I shit.
Oh,
For
it's like what's that
200
movie? What was the movie with Demi Moore and
indecent proposal.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying.
So
Um,
so that's your price. Your number is a $250,000.
a month, a $250,000 a month
Mhm.
for an attractive older woman to use me as her sex toy.
But you're single, right?
If I'm single.
If you're single. Okay.
If I'm single. Shit, if I'm married, my wife and I might need to have a conversation. Like, we may need to up that number. She's like, look, let's say like a well-aged, like a Rihanna comes to me and was like, look, I
Well,
want to pay
not
you.
Rihanna, because she would lose you
Yeah,
to Rihanna.
Rihanna could get it for free, but
That's why I said she would lose you to Rihanna. She can't say Rihanna.
But some like executive, some CEO who's like, into her 50s but looks really snatched and great. And she's
Mhm.
like, I want your husband for $500,000 a month.
Your wife would not say yes.
I don't know. My wife would
She
think
would
about it.
she would not say yes.
500,000 a month. He just got to fuck you a couple times a month whenever you
Yeah, but it'll never be enough. I mean, then it'll go up and then no.
So
Mm-mm.
you wouldn't let Jason be somebody's sex toy for 500,000 a month?
No, he could just go off and be with her and then I could get half of that money.
Really? What's the number
Yeah.
for you?
To let him?
Yeah.
There is no number. He could just go. I believe in the sanctity of marriage. Okay.
Love ain't got nothing to do with it. This is
I
a
believe in it.
job.
Even if you weren't in love, I believe in the sanctity of marriage.
This
I
is
believe
work.
in that
I'm just
union.
working.
I believe in that. It's a union under God, and God would not
$2
that
million.
would not be no.
$2 million a month.
No. There's no number. There's no number for me and either. So if I'm gonna go be with somebody, then I'm gonna be divorced and go be with them.
What if
So
Jason like, I don't want a divorce? You can go be with him. Just come back home on the weekends.
it's not about him. It's about me. This is a union under God. No, God, that would not please God. No.
Solomon had thousands of concubines.
Okay. No.
What you mean? God
Maybe
cool with it.
No, he's not cool with it.
Yes, God is. What are you talking about? God is very cool with it. The Bible is full of examples of God being cool with it.
It's a Bible.
Littered
Okay,
with
and
examples of God
well,
being
some
cool
of that
with
stuff, it was translated by men. So yeah, there's a
Literally
lot of stuff
God
on
being
marriage
cool.
too.
David was called a God after man's own heart. and this motherfucker killed somebody to get their wife. Literally killed the nigga so he can fuck their wife.
You're so
And
stupid.
they said, this is a man after God's own
I
heart.
am not going to be able to put this on Spotify.
So God is.
We haven't had an episode on Spotify in ages.
Oh, I'm just saying.
Lord.
God, cool.
I mean, yes, there's lots of examples of everything.
Exactly.
But thou shalt not commit adultery is, last I checked, was one of the 10 commandments. So,
but is it adultery if there's an agreement?
yes, it's adultery.
How?
Yes, an agreement. Who would agree to that? That's choosing money over your spouse.
You're not choosing money over your spouse.
Yes, you are. You're saying that money is more important than the well-being and the love of your spouse.
Like, no, because I still love my spouse.
No, you love money more. What you do is what you love.
What you do is what you love. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of people who are working in jobs that would defiantly argue with you about that one.
Well, outside of work, because when you do it, work wise, people do what they have to do, but what you willingly do is what you love. So, yeah. Anyway.
I think that it's a loose interpretation of.
Well, look how it turned out on the Indecent Proposal. I mean, they almost broke up because he let her go. Like, you let your woman go. That's just like my dad when Jennifer Lopez wore that green Armani.
That dress,
Armani or Versace?
I know who it was. Yeah, the Versace dress.
And my dad was like, he don't love her. Talking about Puffy, he don't love her.
That takes a different level of commitment, man. I've seen walking around stores. I've seen women dressed in things with their man by their side, and I think there's a fine line between having confidence and a surety in your relationship and your masculinity, and that line of what the fuck are you thinking? Because they'll be together with their family, like kids and all, and wearing sheer shirt with a sheer bra underneath, and you can just see nipples and
a sheer bra.
Yeah, and it's like, yo, like I get y'all are a family, but wowzers, And I'm all about freedom of expression. Women, wear what you want to wear, but at some point in time, what's for your man and what's not for your man?
Yeah.
But then if that's how she's always dressed and you got with her dressing like that, you can't then stop her from dressing like that. Now if she just started going through a midlife crisis and decided to change it up, then we have to have a conversation. But as the dude,
that's like Ciara, you're almost positive that Russell loves Ciara.
Almost positive. I don't think there's a doubt in the world.
No, but her outfits, some of them are like.
But that's how she always was.
Was
you can't change. Yeah, Ciara's always dressed like that. Okay. Always. You can't change up now.
I don't know. It just seemed like when she got with him, it seemed like there were less clothes.
No, Ciara, I think you paid attention to her more when she got with him.
I thought I always did, but maybe not.
Ciara's always been.
I think she's super talented.
Dressed.
Remember how it used to be back in the day? Like, if you couldn't sing, at least we're a different generation, but I remember when I was younger, if you couldn't sing, you didn't wear any clothes.
Right.
And I think Toni Braxton was the first person, and probably Mariah Carey, because once Mariah got away from Tommy Mottola, she busted her head and lost her mind and forgot to put clothes on. And she could sing clearly, and then Toni Braxton could sing too, and she barely wore anything either. Right. So,
and then I think
they're just going to catch up though with the girls who,
when they spend their whole careers being told how to dress and how to look, once they get of age where they can, or out of a situation where they can dress themselves, they want to explore that sexuality. Like Chloe and Halle Bailey.
Toni was a PK too, so yeah.
Yeah, Chloe and Halle Bailey, when they were younger, coming up in the music world, they were just these two innocent, locked girls who sang beautifully, who were like Beyonce's little proteges. And once them girls got grown, they're like, oh, I can take my clothes off. And
well, Chloe, really, yeah.
Chloe was like, bet, and so it's just.
But why do you? I mean, okay, I wonder why people want to expose themselves.
I think try to break the mold.
Oh.
I think to try, like, if your whole time you're being viewed as this little girl or this little boy. I think because male actors and male singers, they go through bad boy phases too. Once they get of age, they start, sleeping around. They start doing drugs or whatever. Boys
Like
go through the same thing.
like Justin.
Yeah, but Justin seems to have been forced. He seems to have been running away from trauma or whatnot. Did you see his name in the Diddy reports? That apparently he was drugged and used and passed around.
That was in the report.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was in the report from who?
This whole lawsuit thing that's going on. That
Are you serious?
Yeah, that JT is being one of
Not Justin
groomed.
Timberlake.
No. I'm sorry, JB. Justin Bieber. Yeah,
What?
being groomed and used in his early years in the music industry.
Oh my gosh.
Wild shit.
That sucks.
Yeah. Well, enough of that bad news. Let's talk about something else.
Jeez. Well, have you ever heard of the phenomenon Ring by Spring?
I did not until recently, until a viral video, probably a few months ago, early this year, last year sometime, where like all these girls were graduating dental school, I think, or some sort of graduate school.
Okay.
And they were all flashing their rings.
Well, at least they were getting their graduate degree. So apparently it's a thing called Ring by Spring. It's getting a ring by the senior year, I guess, whether it's grad school or undergrad or whatever. Claire Lyons, who is a senior at where's she at Notre Dame, she rejects this notion. Apparently, it's a thing at I won't just say Christian universities because at places like Notre Dame, but BYU, they're not Christians or Mormons, so it's a religious thing. Liberty. So it says, according to a study by the Institute of Family Studies, Notre Dame has an above average percentage of married graduates, 67.5, topping the national average by 15%. And that's amongst the top 50 colleges in the U.S. Notre Dame has the highest marriage potential. That's
strong as that.
Yeah, they said romantics consider Ring by Spring as one of the Notre Dame's most important cultural traditions. Legend has it, if you kiss your partner underneath the scenic Lion's Arch or walk around the lakes holding hands, you'll end up married.
That's what's up.
So
I think that is now. I know that I don't think it's just a religion thing because some of the articles that are out there. So Ebony K. Williams, you know who Ebony K. Williams is?
No.
Ebony K. Williams, she was a lawyer. Well, she is a lawyer. She's still a lawyer. And, she became very social media famous for having very strong points of views on a lot of cases that were going on during, the 2020 and, a lot of strong stances on the Black community and things and direction we should be going in or whatever. She is a graduate of UNC Chapel Hill, has a law degree, very successful woman, degrees out in correspondence for CNN and various other news outlets. Anyway, so she actually has a podcast and she spoke about Ring by Spring from her perspective. And she talked about even when she was at UNC Chapel Hill 20 years ago, when she was in school, she looked at it as a generational thing where as a Black woman, she was in school to get her degree, get a formal education, and to go about being great, while her white peers were in school to get married, she called it your Mrs. degree, your MRS degree, to get their MRS degree and their bachelor's degree or their graduate degree. As a caveat, it wasn't the requirement. The requirement was more on getting the MRS degree or whatnot. And so while her mom told her to go get her undergrad degree, go to law school, get her PhD, build your career, do everything you have to do, her counterparts were told to go look for a partner and someone you can build a life with while they're in school and whatnot. So,
So we're being told, you're saying Black women not generally speaking, but in her case, she was told one thing and that other women are told something different.
Right. And it goes in her perspective. Ebony K. Williams said that it was more so she was a first generational college student, first generational graduate,
Okay.
first generation graduate degree recipient in her family line. And so
Mhm.
the pressure to be great and stable is greater in our community because a lot of these other counterparts, these female counterparts, white female counterparts, aren't first generation college students. You know,
Right.
their dads, their mothers, all these persons have college degrees. So when they go to school, there's not this great pressure to be the first and blaze a trail.
Right.
There's more pressure to establish a family unit and to find
Mhm.
someone who you can build a great family unit with, as opposed to trying to just establish yourself and be great for yourself. You know?
So which is better?
Shit.
Is there? I mean, you got married young. You got married right
Yeah, got
out of
married my
college.
senior year. Yeah, senior year in college. I was married.
Okay, so which is when I was in college, I'll just tell you, I always wanted to be married. I
Yeah.
always wanted to be married and have kids.
I've always wanted to be married as well.
Mhm.
Marriage was always something that I wanted to do.
Right.
And I think that as far as what's better, it depends on what you mean what's better, right? If you're talking
Well, I
about
mean, it
better
depends
for
on
the
the person,
community,
obviously. Yeah.
well, I think about it in communities, right? The
It's better to
familial
be
structure,
united.
yeah, the familial structure is needed to create strong legacies and a lasting, you know, path of success. And
Mhm.
so is it dope if both my parents, if as a child, both your parents are college educated and they're married and you know you have young spry parents who are here and maybe your mom gets to be a stay-at-home mom now
Mhm.
and or work from home mom or whatever and your dad goes, it builds a better family, you know,
Right.
than to even, you know, not a lot of people are open to late life babies, but if I'm 13, so let's say you have a baby at what, 40? You have a
I
baby at
had one. I had
45.
one at 40.
Yeah. And so now you 53 at when they're 13. You know what I'm saying? And you know, are you just as
I was,
energetic?
but I was. Yeah. I
Yo,
mean,
so let me
I'm
ask you, so were you
57 and I have a 17-year-old
yeah, so were you
and
just
an
as
18-year-old.
energetic running around the park with your
At 40,
at no, when they were 13 and 15. So at
I wasn't running around
55,
the park at 14.
you
But I wasn't running around the park. So I ran around the park when they were little.
but you didn't run around with them when they got older.
Because we didn't run around the park. What
Yeah.
13-year-old goes and run around the park?
Well, you know, 13-year-old play sports. You know, my kids, they
Yeah,
teenagers,
I'm not
12,
playing
13.
sports. I don't play sports. I can go
But would
support.
you have been more susceptible or more open to playing sports with them when you were in your 20s? If you had your
But
kids
I
in your
did
20s.
but I did play but I did run around and play with them. So they're just older now. Um so I think everything happens or the timing of things or happen for a
Right.
reason. I think that that everything I did or what happened led up to, you know, me having my kids when I was supposed to have them. So
Right.
um I don't know how being younger, I don't know if that would have been better for me.
Right.
So
I
I
can't
still
picture myself
I still felt young. At
having a
40, I
kid
felt
right now.
young.
Yeah,
I felt oh,
I'm
right
40 now.
now, man, I'm like I'm like the crypt keeper. But
Yeah,
when
I
I
don't
was
want to
40,
have a
I was
kid
like,
right now.
no,
That is crazy to me. Having
no.
a kid at 40. I'm
A
like,
I don't
what?
even let me not even put that in there. I don't want a grandkid
Stop it.
either.
Don't even say that,
I,
right?
like, but we were at dinner on Jason and I were at dinner on Easter and looked over the table next to us, and it's a young family with the baby and the one set of parents. And I was like, oh, how cute. How cute. Then I think, like, how old will I be when I'm a grandparent? Will I be able to run around and do
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
Like, am I gonna be like 70? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't worry about it.
I know.
So.
I think so. Ring by Spring is one of those things where it
But
is
maybe we should we should promote like being your best and seeking out people that
match your
that
energy.
yes, and going for, and there's nothing wrong with love, finding love, and being equally yoked and wanting,
I
because I
think
think
that's
if
a
you get
big thing. What you just said, you hit the nail on the head. There's nothing wrong with finding love. I think that so much men and women in our community are told, go get your degree, go get your money. Like, don't be worrying about these little young girls.
right,
Don't go, we're told like don't let nobody lock you down,
right, I know.
and it's
Like
like,
we're the enemy, like we treat each other like the enemy.
yeah, instead in other communities, they're told go find that person, go lock somebody
Right,
down,
right,
go get that person. And
yeah.
I worked with someone, one of my leaders in my past jobs, her
Hmm.
son was a graduate student at North Carolina A&T,
Okay,
and up to that point in his life he'd only dated Black women,
okay.
and he met this white girl, a
Hmm.
white woman, while he was in school. And so they're both in graduate school.
Wait a
She's
minute, is it
getting her
North Carolina
PhD,
A&T,
HBCU,
and she
yes.
was there?
Yes, she was.
Okay,
And she's getting her graduate degree in African American Studies.
okay,
And she pledged Delta in her undergrad.
okay.
And she graduated with her undergrad degree in African American Studies. And she is from the country part of North Carolina. So this is a country white girl who really embraces this community. Anyway, so they met. She bagged him. She got his number. And then as they were dating, he has his own, my leader at that time, she had, bought her son a condo, apartment, whatever you want to call it. And
Yeah.
so this woman would come over to the apartment condo
Hmm.
and clean it up for him. She would cook meals for him before she went to her classes. She would fold his clothes for him. She literally acted as a wife while still pursuing her degree in school. And he definitely got engaged. She definitely is gonna be his wife now, like 100%. Like that wasn't even on his radar to even
Hmm.
date white females. But she
So were people upset when they got married?
they're not married yet. I think they're getting
Oh, they're
married
not.
this year or
Okay.
next year or whatever. But no, my manager was definitely like, when they first started dating, she was like, "Eh?"
How'd you find
Like,
the only white girl at?
how'd she find him? She
Yeah.
got him or whatever, right? And she was very like, what's going on here? But this girl, like this woman, made it easy for him to make that decision, right? She made it easy for him to put that ring on her by
So
time they
acting like a
graduated.
mother gets women.
Acting like a mom or acting like a wife, because a stay-at-home wife, that's all things stay-at-home wives do. That's all things
Is
that
it?
stay-at-home. I would think so.
Oh,
Like if you're a stay-at-home wife, you're not cooking meals for your husband. You're a
I
stay-at-home wife, you're
I
not
cook
washing
meals,
clothes.
I'm not stay at home. I mean, I
You
work
work
from
from home.
home.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're home.
I wash
Like,
clothes.
yeah, exactly. Like these are things that wives do.
There
These
are
are not
things that
motherly
mothers
things.
do, but if you're a boy, if you're a young guy, the person you've never had a wife, but you have a mother, and
But
that's stuff that your mother did for you.
I think there you go. Why are you looking at it as her being motherly instead of her being wifely? Because
Because
you do these
he,
things as a wife for
I
your
do them
husband.
as I do them as a mother though. But I do them as a mother as well. So
Okay, so you're doing it as a wife too. So we can
I
look at it from
understand.
whatever perspective you want to look at
I
it
can
from.
look at it from
Yes,
because I do it for my son. Have done it for my sons and for my husband. But for my son, if somebody came over and cleaned his room, those are the things that his mom did.
but I understand that those are things that his mom did, but those are
Okay.
also things that he would want his wife to do as well.
They're right. They're things that he right because his mother did them.
Either or,
So
whatever way
yeah,
you want to look at
I'm
it.
just saying. But and that's why
You know,
men have issues when they got mama issues. You know what I mean?
but it doesn't have. See, why it got to be that though? It doesn't have
No,
to be
I'm
a mom
not. No,
issue,
I'm not. I'm saying if your mom, if you didn't have that kind of mom that did that kind of stuff for you,
right?
and
But
so
it's just one of those things where I
you're
think
what you're saying
she
is
made it easy for him to make that decision. I
men want
don't.
to be so is there anybody that okay. So that makes it seem like you could date and you could marry anybody. Anybody that came and anybody that you dated who cooked and cleaned for you.
and who treated you right. Who, I mean, there was more to it. Of course,
Okay.
her. It's not just her cooking and cleaning, but her just being a
Selflessness.
nice person. Yeah, she was a nice person.
Okay.
She was attractive,
Hmm.
and she did all these things. She was selfless. She didn't ask much of him. She didn't require grand gestures. She didn't require going to dates at, you know,
Oh,
the
that
Yard
sounds
House. She didn't require him to buy her bag. She didn't require him to,
okay.
like,
But
to give
shouldn't
her
you?
money to go shopping and shit.
I don't know if that's admirable or if that's sad. So I think
What
that
I mean, he treated her well. They went on
okay,
dates. What I'm saying, like, it was
okay,
okay for her. She was okay with going for picnics. She was
okay.
good. She was good with giving him this energy, even though they may just go for picnics,
That's
right? Even
picnics
though
are
that
awesome.
they, yeah, they
Even
could
though we
go
don't
for
like
walks,
picnics, pick a nigga.
right?
Right.
They go to the movies. Like, they just do regular dating
Yeah,
things.
that's
He
fine.
he dated her. He gave her flowers. Did all these
Okay.
things,
All right. Well then,
and she
okay.
matched that energy by doing all this other stuff as well.
And I think that if you have
You
two
know what I'm
people and you
saying?
take care, if we're in a relationship and you are my number one, like my goal is to make sure you're good and your goal is to make sure I'm good, then we're all good.
All right. So now
Fine.
it's not motherly then.
Okay. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and so it just made it easy for him to make that decision. While I think
But I
that
would
in
hope it
other
like
situations, I don't know. I, who have been friends with many of Black women,
mhm.
I don't know of any who, while they were dating someone, went to that extent while while in their dating relationships. I
Hmm.
know many women who, been 50-50 on things, right? Paid for dates, bought their dude little gifts for birthdays, bought
Mhm.
him like shoes, bought him things like that. Did those
Mhm.
things for him while they were dating. Very 50-50, very took care of them like a dude would take care of her, right? Just
Mhm.
very like, yo, I'll buy you some shoes. Oh, I saw this wallet. Let me get you this wallet or whatever. But they weren't going over to their house and meal prepping for them. They weren't going over
Yeah.
washing and folding his clothes. They weren't going over and, like, just cleaning up the house for the sake of
Mhm.
cleaning up the house, right? There's like different tiers of
I don't know that I would tell my daughter to do that. That just seems like to me, it seems like that person, like they're I don't know. I don't want to say there's an ulterior motive, but like
I'm
you're
sure it was. The goal was to get a ring by spring, and she got her ring by
okay.
spring.
Okay. All right then. If
Like, I feel
listen.
like I think that you just hit the nail on the head.
Mhm.
That many times the ulterior motive doesn't have to be something salacious or malicious. An
Yeah.
ulterior motive can just be, I want you to marry me.
Okay.
I want you to give me my ring by spring. So I'm going to do whatever it is it takes for you as a man to look
Mhm.
at me as a woman as someone who you cannot not have in your life.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to make life so easy for you that it
Mhm.
would be crazy of you not to marry me.
Right.
Because why would you not marry someone who's making your life easier? And so I think a
Okay.
lot of these girls who get rings by spring go into it with the ulterior motive. I'm not just dating to hang out. My
Mhm.
ulterior motive in us dating is to be your wife, is
Okay.
to be married and get my ring by spring. So
Okay.
ulterior motives, I think, are perfectly fine if they're not, salacious, or if they're not malicious, right?
Mhm. Okay. So I guess then, but you just have to make sure you keep up that same energy
Mm.
once you get married.
Because I think that's where we get into this conversation where divorce rates switch up. Because a
Mhm.
lot of people who get this kind of energy, once you start having 2 and 3 kids and your wife can't give you this energy anymore, and that energy was part of the reason why you married her,
Mhm.
that's where you see like a lot of these men, like, divorce and then go get the younger woman who can give them back that energy that they were getting in the beginning and
Mhm.
whatnot. A standard was set in the beginning,
Right.
and you know uh that that standard is very much competing with the love in the relationship. And so when that standard fades, is the love that you've established outside of the standard strong enough? to still hold the relationship together.
Hmm.
Because the standard is what got you there. You're hoping
Right.
that love keeps you going the rest of the
Yeah,
time.
but you have to be intentional. So love just doesn't. Yeah, it don't just keep you together like Captain and Tennille.
Nah, I don't. I think any long-term married person will tell you love ain't enough. Love ain't enough. It is marriage is much more than butterflies and I love yous.
Yep.
It is an intentional act on both sides. Or whatnot. One of my good friends, her and I were talking, and she said, I will always upkeep myself for my husband. I will always make sure I'm in great shape and I look good for him, but he must always do the same for me.
Right.
Like it has to be intentional. Like I will keep myself looking good for you, but you got to keep yourself looking good for me too. Because it ain't just about love. Like we have to be intentional with what we do. And it's just how it is. You can't. It's more than love.
Yeah. Nothing. It's not happenstance. It doesn't just. It's not. Yeah. It's you have to work on it.
Yeah. So everything you do to get that ring by spring when you 19 and 20,
keep that same.
You got to keep that same energy when you 40, 45, and 50.
Yep.
And do you think that is the reason why a lot of high-end middle-class America resorts to having, I think, nannies and cleaners and au pairs, because they need people to help them carry the load so they can keep that same energy that they had when they were younger or whatnot?
Well, it's funny because if you look at I don't know any uber wealthy people, but if you see, but if you see them on television, they always have nannies and au pairs, and they're with their spouses.
Yep.
They're at dinners, they're vacationing. The kid, you know what I mean? Someone else is caring for the kids.
They're in Pilates, they're working out, they're, getting, nip tucked and, brought together.
Well, that's the Buckhead Betty. A friend of mine who
Buckhead Betty, what's that?
Yeah, well, Buckhead Betties are they could be
dope.
They are like on top of their whole body face game. They all have breast implants.
Right.
They're all nip tucked, hair pulled, perfect. Because they don't want to be replaced by younger women. So they, I have a friend of mine. I remember she had a neighbor who just had a baby. She could see her in her basement on she had given birth like a couple days before, like on her Stairmaster.
Yep. I think, you got to give it that snapback. Now, do you think that what's your thoughts about that, right? So where's the line? Should the husband be understanding that his wife may no longer be what she was, or should the wife be intentional about making sure that she's as close to what she was as much as possible?
Man, well, me having 3 kids and having them like J35, 39, and 40, my body, once I had the first kid, my body wasn't like before. Things were different places. And I think I always worked to get
you snap back.
I worked to get to a place that I was happy with.
Yeah.
So I figure if I'm happy with it,
he'll be happy with it.
Yeah, he'll be happy with it. So, and I'm probably still, now that I'm menopausal, I'm probably still, still doing that. But yeah, I think that you want to look good for yourself. You want to look good for your spouse. And I shouldn't say, I know I always do that.
What
generalize me. I should say I have a tendency to say you,
but
meaning like all
but
of
what's
us.
wrong with, but I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that people should want to look good for their spouse.
But I don't know if they do. I shouldn't say that.
That's a wild idea, though. That's a wild concept, that
to want to look good for your spouse.
to not want to look good for your spouse.
Oh yeah, to not care. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. Like I think that we get to this point to where, especially you see a lot of. I just think it's a wild concept to where you see people who saying that this Lizzo generation, I think, as what I like to call it, where people like just accept me as I am, right?
well,
Like
there are people
it
who
doesn't.
love big women.
Yeah,
So
but
there's
it's not
some
just about big women. It's just about accept me for whatever I'm giving you. Like where I don't have to do anything. It's not my job to do anything for you to like what you see. It's your job to like whatever I am.
okay,
And
if
I
we
don't and I think
okay.
that's wild because if your
Hmm.
spouse did not approach you when you were in one capacity, then it's unfair for you to
So
deem
you that's
them
not the Lizzo generation because Lizzo's if we look at Lizzo, she's big. So if you get with
right.
Lizzo big, then what? You want Lizzo to get small? She wasn't
Well, no,
big,
you can't. Yeah, you got to take Lizzo as she is.
right?
But
She could
if
go get
Lizzo,
Ozempic and do all
but if
that
Yeah,
Mounjaro and all that
but that's
stuff.
what I'm saying. But it's the opposite true. Like if I get with you and you're big, and that's what I like,
Right.
and then you decide you want to lose like
And
300
somebody might not
pounds,
like that. They
and
might
yeah,
not
they're
like
not
that.
gonna like that, right?
Right.
But then it's like, okay, is it my responsibility then to stay big for you or
Right.
whatnot, or the opposite? If I get with you and you're
Yeah.
teeny tiny, and
You
then
get big.
you get big, am I at fault for not wanting to be with you because you're big? Like it's not my love doesn't change. I'm just no
Yeah,
longer
I think
attracted to
that
you.
oh man, that's tough. So
You know?
that's tough
You
because
know?
men are so superficial. That's
It's
why they lose
Men are built like
hair. They
that though.
get yeah, they're
But that's why
visual.
my friend said, my best friend, she was like, look, it's the same for both sides. I understand that as a man, you're gonna want me to look a certain way. But
Hmm.
understand as a woman, I expect you to match that same energy and to look a certain way as well. You don't get to get fat, and you may not be able to help that you're balding, but you can definitely help what you put in your mouth, and you can
Yeah.
definitely help how you work out. Whatever.
Hmm.
So yes, men may get bald. Yes, men may gray out their beards and shit, but you don't just get to ride this dad bod wave and be like, oh well, it is what it is. But you look at
You're
your
not
wife
you're
and
not
expect her,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
yeah,
You can't you
and
don't
then
have
you
a
expect your wife to be
yeah,
snatched and
you need
pulled
a
back
certain
and
amount of
everything.
money for a dad bod.
Yeah, yeah. Dad bod requires certain amount of zeros in your bank account to where it doesn't matter
Yes.
or whatnot.
Like
Like
really.
how everybody thought. I think it looks back to like how everybody thought Tony Soprano, James
I
Gandolfino
thought
was such. He
I
was such an
loved him.
attractive man,
I
right?
loved him.
If he was broke and he was just gym working at the grocery store, it
Yeah,
would not have been the same. You
probably
know,
not.
no,
But he wouldn't have had that swag. He wouldn't have had that.
exactly that power
Mhm,
that he walked around with, comes with a certain amount of zeros in power in your
mhm.
bank account, where you can look like that and still have that same level of attraction
But see, but
or whatnot.
that's women. Like we are not necessarily the physical part. It's like the whole, we look at like, oh, he's funny,
Oh,
or
he's powerful. He's confident.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
But I think that's facts. Like men and women are different. And so
Hmm.
while men are visual, physical creatures, it kind of leans towards the idea that you have to, as a man's partner, whether
Hmm.
you are a male or a female, if you're partnered with a man, then you should make sure that your physical that you're presenting is appealing to that man. Like even as men are dating men, a man who dates a man who starts off looking a certain way doesn't want his man to end up looking a certain way,
Right. Well,
right?
that's why so many men hook up at the gym.
Yeah, exactly. Like they want their men to look
Oh,
a certain way. It's
okay.
not.
I'm just gonna say this one thing before because it's a minute three. Are you watching Gerard Carmichael's documentary on
Listen,
Max?
I don't care if you're a man or a woman. If you got a friend, stay in that friend zone because when you come out the friend zone, your feelings gonna get hurt. Your feelings gonna get hurt.
Oh my
The
god.
gamble is not worth it. The chance of losing the friendship, like the way Tyler the Creator was just like, which
So
one?
you're watching it?
I
You wa
watched the clip. I watched that part of the show. I watched that part, but
Yeah.
I've
I
not.
watched it. I turned it on and then I was like, I can't watch it. And then I turned it back on yesterday. I was like, his mother is probably like, that is the biggest middle finger to me to his family. That I mean, it's like he came out the closet and like burned down the house. You know, you just come out the
Yeah.
closet. Like, what is that? I mean, he's like a butterfly. He's like Mariah Carey. He's like, I'm just going to spread my wings and be me because I've been so oppressed.
I think that's what we were talking about earlier.
And
That need to just be different from what everyone perceived you to be.
he's sucking toes and
I ain't seen all that. I just
oh
watched the
right,
conversation with him and Tyler, the
you
creator.
would just be like, oh
What is
my
he doing?
gosh, like
Because I love the
why?
Jared Carmichael show. When it was on TV, the Gerald Carmichael show was one of my favorite shows to watch.
Yeah, I
It
watched it
was
too. I mean, I've watched all the stand-ups. He was
so
good in
good.
he was in Poor Things with Emma Stone. He was good in Poor Things. Now when I look at him, it's like, how do we not know he was gay?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, hindsight is 2020, right? So now it's like confirmation bias. When you're looking for something, your brain
Right.
will find all the things
Yeah.
that you're looking for. So now we look back, we're like, oh, I see little mannerism there, I see little mannerism there.
Right.
But you know, when you're not
Yeah,
looking
but
for
he
it.
back to the look thing. His best friend, like he asked Tyler the creator to go to the Emmys with him. He's professed his love or whatever, that he was he had a crush on him, wanted him to go to the Emmys, but he was looking for side dates. So he was on Grindr or Tinder, which one's for gay dudes?
Grindr.
And so his best friend comes over with the stylist the next day to get him ready for the Emmys. And she's like, where'd you guys meet? And the guy's like, on Grindr. And he was like, he said, oh, he's like, and I didn't know what he looked like. How'd you not know what he looked like? He said, because his body was good. It was just the torso, and his torso was all cut up. That was enough. That was enough.
That was
and dude came over to his hotel. I'm afraid if I had gay boys, I'd be afraid for them.
I mean, it's wild.
I'd be afraid.
There's been SVU, there's been Law and Order SVUs about a gay app where people are getting robbed and hurt and beat up over the apps or whatever.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, and that was the Law and Order SVU episode.
Yeah, it was SVU episodes.
Wealthy guys, yeah, stealing their watches and they were married, so they didn't tell.
They didn't tell. Exactly. Yep. No, I think men are physical creatures. It doesn't matter if you're a man dating a woman. You want to like what you see. And it becomes a very interesting conversation between partners of where that line is. Like, what is your responsibility in maintaining, and what is my responsibility in giving grace? And and it all feeds back to like the ring before spring, like we were saying. Like, if you are doing all these things to get your ring before spring, then are you capable of keeping all the same energy?
I know I think it's impossible, but
later on in life, that's why divorce rates might be so crazy. You know what I'm saying? Divorce rates is out the window.
Yep. So anywho, well, that took a longer amount of time than I thought that it would. It's important. I mean, so
yeah.
All right, tell everybody where they can find us, Shane.
Man, you can find us on the Twitter or the X, whatever you'd like to call it. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. Sometimes when I watch my mouth, you can find us on many streaming. You can find us on many streaming platforms that has podcasts available. StreamYard,
definitely YouTube.
Definitely YouTube.
If you want to look at us, go to YouTube. Yeah.
Appreciate all the YouTube subscribers going up. That's kind of dope. We enjoying the conversations on there. Let's hop on there, see some of the commentary, jump in the conversation, like and subscribe, share our stuff. Like just
shit's okay.
Okay, shit's okay. Great. Share our shit, please. And then slide over onto Instagram as well. We put our clips up on Instagram. Please go and support. We are here to pass along the wisdom we received from lessons learned, from mistakes made, in hopes that you don't make the same mistakes that we did. And so if you do decide to make those mistakes, you decide that mistake making is the thing you want to do, well, like and subscribe to us, because we're going to be here to laugh with you, not at you. All right?
Yes. Jackson, just so you know, everybody, he texted me while we were recording, asked me why the Uber app is not working.
See, coddling.
Yeah.
So man want to know why his Uber app ain't working while he.
So yeah, who's the girl who's going to pick up my slack? You know what I mean?
Bless her heart. I'm sure there'll be a Jolene. We won't call them Jolene's now since Dolly
Oh, we
Parton
calling them
and
Jolene's now.
yeah, no, Dolly and
Joe
Beyonce just
was a
dropped that.
heifer. Jolene was a heifer.
Oh well, we'll call it what, Becky or Jolene will come
Yeah,
up
well,
in.
Jolene was a heifer. So I used to love that song when I was a kid.
Jolene was only a heifer because she took her
She was
man.
trying to take his man, but
She's trying to take it.
and it was funny because she wrote that about a girl worked at the bank.
Yep. And then she did.
Don't be
Then she
looking
do the
about it,
movie
so
9 to 5 where she was working at the bank.
were they working at the bank?
Was
Yeah,
yeah,
they
I
did
think
work at
9
the
to 5 they were
bank.
working at the bank. Yeah, most definitely.
Yep,
I wonder if she
Jolene.
was trying to embody Jolene while she was working.
I don't know. But then she was like, I want Beyonce to cover Jolene. She's like, so I can make that money.
Dolly's smart, she did Whitney, but Dolly's also a giver. We know we're about to slide off, guys, but shout out to Dolly Parton because a lot of people don't know that all the money that she was making from Whitney Houston doing Outlaws Love You, she donated right back into the Black community.
She did? I
Yeah,
didn't
right.
know
Black
that.
community in Nashville. Yep. She took all the money that she made
One
from
more
that.
reason to love Dolly. She is the real deal.
Dolly is that chick. Fuck with Dolly heavy.
Yes.
She been fucking with black folk for a very long time.
And Beyonce rewrote Jolene and still gave her the writing credit.
The only writing credit. Now if you listen to Jolene on Beyonce's new record, Dolly Parton ain't wrote not a piece of that.
Except for the Jolene part.
Except for the Jolene part. But Beyonce being Beyonce was like, yo, my money good. We're gonna give Dolly all the credit for this.
All the Dolly. I mean, I'm like bowing down to
Beyonce
for that. I mean, yeah. I've always liked her, but she's a real deal.
Yeah, Beyonce and Dolly Parton. Great combination.
Yep. So anyway. All right, my friend. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.